Gently settle you your comfortable space, holding the weight of the daily earth from your shoulders. Close your eyes and take a deep, calming breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, and as you exhale, imagine releasing any tension or worries you've been carrying. With each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into relaxation, your body becoming lighter, your mind more serene. Visualize a warm, gentle light enveloping you. Its soft glow comforting and peaceful. This light is a guide, leading you away from the hustle of the day and into a realm of dreams and tranquility. With every breath, let this light grow, filling you with a sense of ease and contentment. Your thoughts slow, drifting like leaves on a quiet stream effortlessly, peacefully. In this state of deep relaxation, your heart opens to the world of imagination, a place where stories unfold in the vivid colors of dreams. And so we begin our tale in the heart of a bustling city, hidden away in a small, cluttered art studio. The sanctuary of Avkara, a young artist with dreams as boundless as the night sky. Let the story's melody carry you further into relaxation, each word a brushstroke on the canvas of your mind, painting a world of wonder and color. As Ilara's journey unfolds, feel yourself drifting, floating on the gentle tide of her adventure, towards a sleep filled with vibrant dreams. Now let go and let the story of the painted portal guide you into a peaceful slumber, where the boundaries of reality and dreams blur into a beautiful tapestry of imagination and tranquility. Chapter 1. The Unusual Canvas. In the heart of a bustling city tucked away in a small, cluttered art studio lived Ilara, a young artist with dreams as vast as her talent was constrained by reality. Her days were spent in an endless cycle of fruitless job applications and half-finished canvases, a testament to her unfulfilled potential. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow through the dusty windows of her studio, there was a gentle knock. Dora. Standing there in the dimming light was an old man Elila had never seen before. His eyes twinkled with a mischievous glint as he handed her a package wrapped in brown paper, tied with a string. "For you?" he said, his voice as soft as the rustling leaves outside. "This time your true journey began." Before Ilara could inquire further, the mysterious visitor turned and disappeared into the twilight. Intrigued and slightly bewildered, Ilara unwrapped the package. Inside was a canvas, unlike any she had seen before. It shimmered with a light that seemed to come from within, colors dancing across its surface like the aurora borealis. Ilara's heart raced with excitement and a touch of fear. She set the canvas on her easel, her hands trembling slightly as she prepared her paints. Ilara, standing before the luminous canvas, felt a surge of inspiration unlike any before. With a deep breath, she dipped her brush into her vibrant, Urlan blue, the color of a perfect summer sky. As the brush made contact with the canvas, something miraculous occurred. The paint did not merely adhere to the surface. It seemed to meld with it, radiating a soft, pulsating light. Each subsequent stroke added to the unmasked glow, and the room filled with a spectrum of colors, vivid color and hues she hadn't dreamed of. Mesmerized by the spectacle, Ilara painted with a fervor driven by an unknown force. The strokes flowed from her hand as if guided, creating shapes and forms that danced between abstract and real. A landscape began to emerge, one that was both familiar and fantastical. A world where the rules of light and color were rewritten. As she added the final touch, a profound silence fell over the room. The painting now depicted a breathtaking vista, a lush valley under a sky streaked with colors that defied description, bordered by mountains that shimmered like jewels. In the center, a portal pulsated gently, inviting yet ominous. As Alara stepped back to admire her creation, she noticed the portal on the painting pulsating more vigorously, its edges blurring and reshaping. The colors around the portal began to swirl, creating a vortex that extended beyond the confines of the canvas. The air in the studio crackled with energy, and the painting emitted a humming sound that resounded a rhythm of Alara's heartbeat. In a mix of awe and apprehension, Alara reached out a tentative hand towards the painting. The moment her fingertips brushed against the canvas, the world around her dissolved. She felt herself being pulled towards the portal, the studio fading away into a blur of colors. Her feet left the ground, and she was engulfed in the swirling vortex of the painting. The sensation was like being swept away by a gentle river, surrounded by a kaleidoscope of colors that were alive, moving, and breathing around her. Alara felt a sense of euphoria, mixed with a twinge of fear, as she journeyed through this unknown realm. The colors whispered secrets in a language she felt she almost understood, telling stories of worlds unseen, beauty, and imagined. Finally, the swirling colors began to slow, and Alara felt herself descending gently. The ground materialized beneath her feet, and the whirlwind of colors settled into a breathtaking landscape, the very one she had painted, but infinitely more vivid and alive. Alara stood in awe, her eyes wide with wonder, as she took in the vibrant world around her. The landscape she painted was alive, breathing with an array of colors more vivid than she could have imagined. The sky above shimmered with iridescent clouds casting a kaleidoscope wide over the land. Grass beneath her feet was a lush, vibrant green, swaying gently as if in rhythm to an unheard melody. As she ventured further into this colorful abyss, Alara noticed that the world seemed to react to her presence. Flowers turned their heads to follow her, their petals iridescent and gleaming. Trees whispered in hushed tones, their leaves rustling softly. The air itself was alive with energy, buzzing with aroma and intensity. Alara soon came upon a river, its waters a flowing mosaic of blues and purples, cast on reflections that danced on the banks. Fish of unimaginable colors leapt from the water, sparkling in the sunlight. The beauty of it all was overwhelming, and Alara felt tears of joy and wonder brimming in her eyes. But this world was not just a spectacle of beauty. It held a sense of purpose, a feeling that something deeper was at play. Alara felt a pull, an invisible thread guiding her deeper into this vibrant land. She followed the path set before her, each step taking her further into the heart of this mysterious realm, towards a destiny yet unknown. As Alara ventured deeper into the heart of this vivid world, she came across a clearing where the air shimmered with a spectrum of light. From this radiant mist, figures began to emerge, each one a living embodiment of a color. These were the painting's creatures, beings made entirely of color, their forms flowing and changing like liquid. The first to approach her was a creature of the deepest blue, his form like a wave in the ocean, fluid and serene. It introduced itself as Azure, the guardian of all shades of blue. The Zura was like a gentle stream, soothing and calm. It spoke of the depth of the oceans and the expanse of the sky. Following Azure came Vermilion, a vibrant red creature, flickering like a flame. It moved with energy and passion, its voice bold and warm. Vermilion spoke of sunsets and autumn leaves of fire and love. Next was Chartreuse, a bright, lively green, its form shifting like the leaves in a forest. It spoke with the whisper of wind through the trees, telling tales of growth and renewal. One by one, creatures of every color introduced themselves to indigo, and mysterious and deep purposes. A warm, earthy yellow whirlwind, a light, airy blue. Each creature was a master of its color, embodying its essence and emotion. Alara was astounded by these beings, their beauty, and the harmony they represented. They explained that she had been brought to this world for a purpose. A balance had been disrupted, and without her help, the world of living colors would fade into oblivion. Lara, with her artist's soul and understanding of colors, was the only one who could restore the balance. Gathered around Lara, the pigment creatures explained the challenge that lay before her. In the heart of their world was a grand canvas, much larger and more magnificent than any Lara had ever seen. This canvas was the source of balance for their world, a masterpiece that held the essence of every color. But now, it was in peril. A mysterious force, known as the monochrome, had begun to seep into their world, draining the color from everything it touched, leaving only shades of gray in its wake. If the monochrome wasn't stopped, their vibrant world would be lost forever. The key to restoring balance lay in completing a series of artistic puzzles scattered across their realm. Each puzzle was unique, requiring Lara to understand and harness the essence of the colors to restore them to their rightful place in the grand canvas. The pigment creatures, each representing a different color, would be her guides. They would lead her to the puzzles, offering their wisdom and abilities to aid her. However, the solutions to the puzzles lay solely in Lara's creativity and understanding of color. Lara felt a weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders, but also a spark of excitement. This was more than just a challenge. It was a journey through the heart of art itself, a chance to explore and understand the very essence of color and creativity. With a determined nod, Lara accepted the challenge. The pigment creatures cheered, their colors shining brighter with hope. Together they set off towards the first puzzle, deep within the Azure Lagoon, a place where the secrets of blue awaited. As they left the clearing, the landscape around them shimmered with an array of colors, each singing a silent encouragement. Alpara stepped forward, not just as an artist, but as a savior of a world where color lived and breathed. Chapter 2, The Puzzle of the Azure Lagoon. Lara, accompanied by Azure, the embodiment of all things blue, ventured towards the Azure Lagoon. As they traveled, the landscape transitioned into varying shades of blue, from the palest baby blue to the deepest midnight blue. The air itself seemed to carry a cool, tranquil quality, and the gentle murmur of the lagoon's wagon, its waves could be heard in the distance. Upon reaching the Azure Lagoon, Alpara was struck by its breathtaking beauty. The water was a tapestry of blues, each wave capturing the light and transforming it into a symphony of color. The lagoon was alive, its waters were whispering ancient secrets and singing songs of the sea. Azure explained that deep within the lagoon lay the first puzzle, a crucial shade of blue, essential for maintaining the balance of their world, had gone missing. Without it, the lagoon and much of the world they knew would gradually lose their color and life. Lara's task was to find this missing shade and restore it to its rightful place. The challenge was daunting. The lagoon was vast, and the shade could be hidden anywhere within its depths. To aid in her quest, Azure granted Lara the ability to breathe underwater, allowing her to explore the lagoon's mysterious depths. Lara dived into the water, her senses immediately enveloped by the cool embrace of the lagoon. The water was clear, revealing a world beneath the surface that was as vibrant and alive as the one above. Schools of fish, each a different shade of blue, darted around her, leading her deeper into the heart of the lagoon. Submerged in the Azure Lagoon, Lara found herself in a world unlike any she had ever imagined. Corals of various blue hues formed intricate underwater gardens, and the light that filtered through the water painted everything in surreal shades. As she swam deeper, the blues became more profound and intense, ranging from sapphire to navy. Lara soon realized that finding the missing shade of blue was like searching for a specific note in a vast symphony of sounds. Each part of the lagoon held a different tone of blue, but no match the unique shade she was seeking. It was a color that seemed to exist in the spaces between elusive and intangible. As she explored, Elvira noticed patterns in the underwater terrain. Rocks, corals, and even the movements of the fish seemed to form a rhythm, a melody of the deep. Remembering Ezra's words about the lagoon whispering ancient secrets, Elvira started to pay attention to these patterns, looking for clues that might head to the missing shade. Her breakthrough came when she observed a school of fish swimming in a peculiar pattern. They moved in a spiral, ascending and descending in a dance that was both beautiful and purposeful. Following them, swam deeper, and found herself before a large, scent-making coral formation. It was here, in the heart of this natural maze, that she felt a different energy, a presence of a color that was both familiar and entirely new. Hovering in front of the coral, Elvira reached out her hand. As she did, the water around her began to glow with a luminous, indescribable shade of blue. It was the missing color hidden not in a physical form, but in the very essence of the lagoon. In the presence of the inner hue, Yara felt a deep connection with the lagoon. The color seemed to pulse with a life of its own, resonating with the rhythm of the underwater world. However, as she attempted to grasp it, the color evaded her, slipping through her fingers like liquid light. It was then that she realized that the color alone was not enough. She needed to understand its essence to truly capture it. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the water, deep and resonant. It spoke in riddles. Each what a poetic verse about the nature of blue. I am the calm of the ocean and the storm in the sky. To find me, you must understand why the sea is deep and the horizon wide. Elvira pondered over the riddles swimming through the coral mazes as she contemplated. The riddles spoke of depth and vastness, of tranquility and tempest. They were not just about the color blue, but about its meaning, its place in the world, and its relationship with other elements. As she unraveled the meanings behind the riddles, Elvira began to see the lagoon in a different light. The blue she sought was not just a color, but a symbol of something greater, a representation of depth, both physical and emotional. It was the peace of the still waters and the fury of the stormy seas, all encapsulated in a single shade. With this newfound understanding, Elvira returned to the glowing coral. This time, as she reached out, the color did not escape her. It gravitated towards her, drawn by her comprehension of its true nature. The luminous blue merged with her, filling her with an overwhelming sense of serenity and strength. Elvira had solved the riddle of the deep and captured the essence of the missing shade of blue. With the essence of the missing blue now a part of her, Elvira felt an intuitive pull guiding her deeper into the azure lagoon. She swam effortlessly, her body moving in harmony with the currents and rhythms of the underwater world. The deeper she went, the more the lagoon revealed its hidden wonders. Caves adorned with phosphorus, wet algae, deep trenches glowing with boiling men's life, and ancient ruins hinting at a long-lost civilization. As she ventured further, the water around her darkened, yet the luminous blue she carried within illuminated her path. She arrived at a secluded part of the lagoon, where the water was so profoundly blue it was almost black. Here, nestled among ancient rock formations, was the source of the missing pigment. Before her lay a cavern, its entrance guarded by a mesmerizing play of light and shadow. Elvira entered, feeling a sense of reverence. Inside, the cavern opened into a vast, domed space, its walls glistening with mineral deposits. In the center of the cavern was a pool of water, so intensely blue it seemed to contain the depth of the universe. Elvira knew instinctively that this pool was the source of the missing pigment. As she could see that the water was not just a color, but a concentrated essence of blue, a pure pigment in liquid form. With a deep sense of purpose, Elvira carefully collected the pigment, the liquid blue adhering to her, as if recognizing its destined purpose. As she held the pigment, she felt a connection to the lagoon, in its myriad shades of blue. She had found what she was seeking, but her journey in the Azure Lagoon was not yet complete. As Alara prepared to leave the cavern with the precious pigment, the water around her began to stir. From the depths of the lagoon, a magnificent creature emerged. It was a dragon, ethereal and majestic, its scales shimmering with every conceivable shade of blue. This was the guardian of the Azure Lagoon, a mythical being said to embody the soul of the waters. The guardian's eyes met Alara, and in them she saw not just the deep blues of the ocean, but the wisdom of the ages. The dragon spoke in a voice that resonated through the water, echoing in the cavern. You are shown understanding and respect for our world, but the pigment you seek is not given lightly. You must prove your intention is pure and your art true. Guardian explained that the pigment was vital to the life of the lagoon, and taking it without proper balance could have dire consequences. To leave with the pigment, Alara must demonstrate her understanding of a harmony between artist and nature, creation and preservation. The latter pondered the guardian's words, realizing this was not just a physical challenge, but a moral one. She knew she could not simply take the pigment without giving something in return. With a deep sense of respect, she offered a promise to use the pigment to restore balance, not just to the lagoon, but to the entire world of living colors. She vowed to honor the beauty and integrity of the Azure Lagoon in her art, and to share its story with others. The guardian listened intently, its gaze piercing yet kind. After a moment of silent contemplation, the dragon nodded, a gesture of approval and trust. The scales on his body began to glow, a single scale, imbued with the essence of all the blues of the lagoon, detached and floated towards Alara. This scale will ensure the balance is maintained, the guardian said. Use it wisely, for the fate of many rests in your hands. With the guardian's blessing and the pigment now secured, Alara thanked the magnificent creature. She left the cavern, feeling a profound connection with the lagoon and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenge of the Azure Lagoon was complete, but her journey to restore the world of living colors was just beginning. With the guardian scale and the captured essence of blue in her possession, Alara returned to the surface of the Azure Lagoon. The pigment creatures, led by Azure, were waiting for their anticipation palpable. They gathered around as Alara prepared to complete the puzzle, a task that would restore the missing shade to the grand canvas and balance to their world. Alara knew that this was more than just adding a color to a painting. It was a symbolic act, a restoration of harmony and a celebration of the beauty of color. She took a moment to reflect on her journey through the lagoon, the wisdom she had gained, and the connection she had formed with the world around her. With a steady hand, Alara began to paint on the grand canvas, which stood in a clearing bathed in soft light. The canvas absorbed the pigment effortlessly, as if thirsty for its return. As she painted, the color spread, bringing life and vibrancy back to the canvas. A landscape within the painting transformed, the blues deepening and becoming more vivid. The sky in the canvas mirrored the real sky above, and for a moment, it was as if the two worlds were one. The pigment creatures watched in awe, their colors glowing brighter with each stroke. They murmured amongst themselves, a chorus of admiration and gratitude. Azure, standing beside Alara, nodded in approval, its blue hues reflecting pride and relief. As Alara placed the final stroke, a wave of energy pulsed from the canvas, rippling through the air. The effect was immediate and breathtaking. The colors of the world around them intensified, the blues of the lagoon shimmering with new life. The balance had been restored, and the threat of the monochrome receded, at least for now. The pigment creatures cheered, their voices blending in a symphony of color. Azure approached Alara, expressing gratitude on behalf of all the colors. You have done more than restore a shade of blue, Alara. You have brought hope to our world. Your journey continues, but know that you have the support of all the Mowlers. Zalara felt a sense of accomplishment and wonder. She had completed the first of her artistic challenges, but she knew that more awaited her. With the encouragement of the pigment creatures and the knowledge she'd gained, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in her quest to save the world of living colors.